defines imagination as a capacity that is only present with human beings. It's a human capacity, and it helps you envisage or imagine things which are not there. And according to her, it is the source, the fount of all invention and innovation that exists in the world. If we did not have imagination, then we would not be where we are today. Okay, and including the COVID-19. Now the news says that the virus was invented or created in some in Chinese lab. So that again shows it's because of human imagination we are in this situation. Now it is human imagination that will also bring a vaccine for the COVID-19. So she says it is a very, very powerful thing. And she calls it transformatory and revelatory in capacity, that it has the ability to transform and show new things to us. Okay, and this imagination also gives us the power to empathize with other human beings' experiences that we have not shared. That's the power of imagination. And she says, like, unlike any other creature on this planet, the humans can learn and understand without having experienced other people's feelings, emotions, and also they can put themselves in other people's places. So this is the importance of imagination, and she says it's a unique ability that only human beings have. I'm going to move on to question number 11. How and why are the Harvard graduates responsible to the outside world? Now there are two important things here. J.K. Rowling is a British writer, and she is addressing the 2008 graduates at their convocation ceremony when they're passing out, the graduation ceremony. And Harvard is, as you all know, is an American university. It is one of the best universities. So this famous British author, J.K. Rowling, being invited to give the graduation address at the 2008 convocation of the Harvard students. So she says, now Harvard being such a prestigious institution, Harvard being located in the US, which is a superpower, so students passing out of them have a lot of responsibility to the outside world, okay? Because they are going to be world leaders, whether in politics or whether in economics or whether in arts, they are going to be the leaders. So they have the education, they have insights and perceptions which are going to change the world. They are game changers is what she's trying to say. She says the Harvard students have the intelligence, the capacity for hard work, and the education that they have received from this very prestigious institution. So that gives them a unique status and also gives them unique responsibilities. And since most of them are Americans, because it's an American universities, or international students who have studied at Harvard University, that sets them apart because they are Harvardians, okay? And the world is looking up to these students who have had the best exposure, the best education to be game changers. So she says that you have the privilege of having graduated from such a brilliant, big university, such a prestigious university. Along with that, you also have the responsibility towards your fellow beings, towards the world. So you have more responsibility to the outside world. You must change the world to be a better place. So that is her, advice to the Harvard graduates of 2008. And your last question, number 12, what does the speaker mean by, in quotation, what we achieve inwardly will change our outer reality? Now you remember J.K. Rowling was supposed to study a modern language, but in the university she changed it to classics. And this quotation is from the Greek author Plutarch, who said, what we achieve inwardly will change our outer reality. And what this means is that there is this, it's a very powerful statement, and we see it proved and we see it demonstrated again and again in our lives. What it means is we are just a part of the whole. But then we have this unbroken connection with the outer world. What we do affects hundreds and millions of things, and it changes the dynamics of the world all the time. Okay, just by existing, we can make changes in other people's life. That's the connection. What Plutarch said centuries ago, so hold true even today. Just by existing, just by being, we can change the outside world. We are interconnected, and there is no bigger example of this than the COVID-19 virus. It happened in some place in Wuhan, China, and then now it has spread all over the world. Yes or no? Okay, who thought it would become a pandemic? So what was said centuries ago, what we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. It means what we do will affect other people. It will affect the dynamics of the world setting. That is what Plutarch meant. But Rowling takes it a step further when she says, even by simply existing, by being also, you have this inescapable connection with the outside world, and you change those dynamics. And that is what we are seeing today. Yes, we are just saying somebody contracts it, you come in contact with that, and look what has happened today. The dynamics of our teaching learning situation has changed. We used to meet at Vidyanagar at VGDC for classes, and by now our exam should have got over. Yes or no? You should be writing your exam, and see what has happened. We are doing our online classes. We have not finished our portions. We are struggling to finish our portion. You all are having a long day. So this is how dynamics change with what happens outside, with what happens to us. So with that, we have finished the lesson, the fringe benefits of failure and the importance of imagination. Now we are going to play a video for you. Please watch the video, and then we will end the lesson. Tomorrow, you don't have class. Sunday, please relax. I know it's been a hectic 4 days for you all. So relax, and we will meet you again on Monday at 1 o'clock. But that's after the video. Thank you. Stay safe. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, have you been to Harvard University?
Yes, sweetheart, I have been to Harvard University.
Like what differs? It is such a prestigious university in the world. What differs to from other universities? Is it curriculum or the faculty or what?
Sweetheart, it is. They have a very dynamic curriculum. Okay, like what we introduced, choice-based credit system. They have been doing it for a long, long time. So you can take a class in music. It is you require so many credits. So you can do anything. You can pick up major, and you can pick up minors, and you can pick up something like music for your minor, and you can pick up physics for your major. You can also do economics. So it's a liberal arts college. Okay, so you can liberal arts, science, and commerce. So there is the 4 years of undergraduate studies. The student is allowed to explore what he or she wants to do, kind of. You can take a break, you can take a sabbatical, you can join back, you can do an internship. There are so many things that you can do, and the faculty, of course, is the best. The campus is just beautiful. Just being there, it is lovely. And all of you will get opportunities, and especially art students. The economics department at Harvard University is one of the best departments. So you can, and I think all of you are lucky. Yashwant and all should apply for London School of Economics. That's another beautiful university in the UK. So it is the faculty is just one part of it. It is what the curriculum allows a student to do. So here, for example, in India, it is set, and choice-based credit system is also, is working within a parameter. You don't have choice. We tell you what to do, and you do that. But there you have the liberty to do whatever you want, and you decide what you want to major in this semester. You are allowed to choose. There is a list and you choose what you want to do. What is important?
So we have to self-explore everything.
Exactly. You want to do maths next semester as a minor, you can do maths. You want to do drawing or you want to study architecture. So the whole, that's the entire world is open for you. And then you decide, and by the time you're in the second year, your third year, you decide what you want to really do. Okay. And then in the fourth, you pick up those majors and you get the credits. So the credits are important, what you're doing, because they value everything the same way. Music is also same, drawing art is also same, physics is same, economics. So there is nothing. There are minor and majors. Minor will have less credit, major will have more. So you need to balance your minor and major so that you get the required number of credits. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So try to apply for London School of Economics summer school, Yashwant, which I spoke to you earlier also. I sent you the link, but somehow.
Ma'am, for that only 19 years, till 19 years, ma'am. I'm 20 already.
Okay.
It's okay. After your graduation, you can apply for Harvard, London.
Okay.
See, you know what? We will post it today. Harvard School of Harvard University is offering 67 MOOCs courses free. We'll post it in the group today. So pick up something and do. So that will give you an experience of, pick up something from your subject and do it. So we will post that link today into your group. 67 free courses they are offering during this COVID time. Register, it is free. You can do it at your own pace. Okay, we'll do that. Huh?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, shall we watch the video?
This lesson.
Yes, ma'am.
Video?
Yeah, please do it.
This is on J.K. Rowling. Depression.
Can those who have come late join late? Anita ma'am, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a very important lesson for all those who have come late. Please watch the video and know that this lesson, why they have introduced to you. It is for you all to know that failure cannot be taken as a stepping back stone. Like you should not step back when you fail in your life. It should motivate you to move further, right? So it's a very beautiful speech which motivates all the youngsters to imagine and do miracles in their life. So now, ma'am, by the time, ma'am, are you playing the video now?
I'm playing, madam.
Bangla, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Courage. What vice do you most despise? Bigotry. What are you most willing to forgive? Gluttony. What's your most marked characteristic? I'm a trier. What are you most afraid of? Losing someone I love. I had a short and really quite catastrophic marriage, and I'm left with this baby, and I've got to get this baby back to Britain, and I've got to rebuild us a life. And adrenaline kept me going through that, and it was only when I came to rest that it hit me what a complete mess I had made of my life. That hit me quite hard. We were as skint as you can be without being homeless. In other words, we were existing entirely on benefits, and at that point I was definitely depressed. And that's just characterised really by a numbness, coldness, inability to believe that you will feel happy again, or that you could feel light-hearted again. It's just all the colour drained out of life, really. Minotaurs are among the foulest creatures that walk this earth. They infest the darkest, filthiest places. They glory in decay and despair. They drain peace, hope, and happiness out of the air around you. Get too near a Dementor, and every good feeling, every happy memory is sucked out of you. Depression, clinical depression, is a terrible place to be. Terrible place. So you became depressed after your mother died? Yes, but I think it was a kind of delayed. I think I had tendencies towards depression from quite young. It became really acute when I was sort of 25 to 28. Was a dark time. Poverty entails fear and stress, sometimes depression. It means 1,000 petty humiliations and hardships. Climbing out of poverty by your own efforts, that is something on which to pride yourself. poverty itself is romanticized only by fools. What I feared most for myself at your age was not poverty, but failure.
So the most important thing about that speech, I think, first of all, you talked about how rock bottom became the foundation from which you rebuilt your life. But the most important thing was about how to use failure.
Failure is so important. It doesn't get spoken about enough. We speak about success all the time. But, you know, I do not know any, I haven't met, and I've been so fortunate and met extraordinary people through Harry Potter, and not one of them didn't have their failure, their more than one failure. And it's the ability to resist failure in many ways, or use failure, that often leads to the greatest success, isn't it? So, yeah, failure. I've often met people who are terrified, you know, in a straitjacket of their own making, because they'd rather do anything than fail. They don't want to try for fear of failing. Well, that's the rock bottom thing. Rock bottom wasn't fun at all. I'm not going to romanticize rock bottom. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that failure is fun. That period of my life was a dark one, and I had no idea that there was going to be what the present since represented as a kind of fairy tale. I had no idea then how far the tunnel extended, and for a long time, any light at the end of it was a hope rather than a reality. So why do I talk about the benefits of failure? Simply because failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded in anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one arena where I believed I truly belonged. I was set free, because my greatest fear had been realized, and I was still alive, and I still had a daughter whom I adored, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. Rock bottom in the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. You might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously. You might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default.
Yeah, that's much. I should have checked when I lived here. Oh, look, Harry Potter books. Now that's really freaky. And for years now, I felt like if it all disappeared, and some days I do feel like, is it real? Then this is where I would come back to, you know, this would be my baseline, I'd be back in it. And obviously, by knowing that 10 years old, I'd come back with a film again, I know it would be my topic for someone else. Because it's such a well-worn part of my story, it's a big yawn to hear how I wrote it, as though it was all such a publicity scheme to get through Europe. It was my life, it was very hard. And I didn't know this fairy tale was like it was just gonna go.
One of the many things I learned at the end of that classics corridor down which I ventured at the age of 18, in search of something I could not then define, was this, written by the Greek author Plutarch. What we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. That is an astonishing statement, and yet proven 1,000 times every day of our lives. It expresses in part our inescapable connection with the outside world, the fact that we touch other people's lives simply by existing. But how much more are you likely to touch other people's lives? Your intelligence, your capacity for hunger, the education you have earned and received, give you unique status and unique responsibilities. Even your nationality majority of you belong to the world's only remaining superpower. The way you vote, the way you live, the way you protest, the pressure you bring to bear on your government has an impact way beyond your borders. That is your privilege and your burden. If you choose to use your status and influence to raise your voice on behalf of those who have no voice, if you choose to identify not only with the powerful but with the powerless, if you retain the ability to imagine yourself into the lives of those who do not have your advantages, then it will not only be your proud families who celebrate your existence, but thousands and millions of people whose reality you have helped change. We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better.
So that is the thing she says.
Good grammar and spelling are important.
Oh my God.
But if you want to...
We can hear you. We can hear you.
So that is what she says here. That failure is not something, but you have to have belief in yourselves to rise like a phoenix, and with a little bit of magic. And the house you have seen in the video, that is her childhood house. Recently she rebought it again. So that is the latest news of J.K. Rowling. She bought that house, and you have seen how emotional she felt after buying back that house, for, of course, for an exorbitant amount. Got it?
Bangla, I'm not an admin for BA second year, so you post that Harvard link to all those children later. The Harvard MOOC course, I'll put it on our group and you post it to all the children, okay? So that they can do it.
Any questions? So tomorrow is a holiday. We don't have a class.
Have a nice weekend. It has been exhausting for all of y'all. So we'll meet you on Monday at 1 o'clock, right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Have a nice day.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye. Take care.
Stay home. Bye. I'm ending the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care. Bye. Take care.